Today I wanted to talk with you about the psoas muscle. The psoas, P-S-O-A-S, is a muscle that attaches from the inner part of the femur bone and up to the front side of the spine. We have one on each side, and if you've ever seen or eaten a tenderloin, that is the psoas. So it's a thick, strong, powerful muscle, and its purpose is to flex the hip. It also creates the curve in the low back, which is very important for shock absorption, for alignment. But often, the psoas becomes short and tight when we sit too much, when we're bending forward too much. Basically, pretty much everything we do tends to make the psoas tight. And so that can cause hip compression and pain, spine compression and pain. And so today I would like to teach a yoga class about how to lengthen the psoas, how to build support through the abdominal muscles so that throughout our daily lives we have more length in the spine, more space in the spine and hips. And I hope you enjoy this short practice. Hello. For this practice, you'll need your yoga mat. If you have a yoga block or two, that would be helpful. If you do not, sometimes using a thick book to place your hand on can lift you up just a little bit. If you have a yoga strap, that's great, or you can use a necktie as another option. And also, it can be helpful to have a folded blanket that helps when you're sitting down to raise you up and release your hip discomfort, and can be helpful for one of the other poses we'll be doing today. And so I'm going to have you start out lying on your back with knees bent. And when you get there, feel your shoulders melting open into gravity, feel the belly softening. Release any intensity in your face or eyes. And just take your time as you slowly straighten out the right leg, and when it gets there, let it feel heavy. Let it release, which might mean that your leg rolls out to the side, and if it does that, just allow it. Let it go completely. Feel your body softening and melting. Often you can feel a softening sensation through the front of the abdomen and hip. Keeping some of that softness, bring your leg back to neutral and move into a gentle ankle pump. Toes toward the nose, toes point away. And relax. And if it's comfortable, take the right hand and do a little overlapping circular massage to the front of the right hip, just creating a little friction and warmth, helping to release that. And relax. Engage abdominals, bend the right knee. Slowly straighten out the left leg. And when you get there, let the leg feel heavy. Let it go. And now keep some of that softness as you bring your leg back to neutral and move into an ankle pump on the left. Toes toward the nose, toes point away. Moving circulation, helping open up the front of the hip and the back of the calf, and release. And if it's comfortable, take the left hand and do a little overlapping circular massage to the front of the left hip. And relax. Gently engaging abdominals helps stabilize your spine as you bend the left knee, and can relieve pain in the left hip when you do that. And then let go. Now feeling your feet on the ground. Connect with your breath. Slow, smooth breath, lengthening both the inhale and the exhale. So as you slow down each phase of the breath, letting the breath be longer, place your hands on the lower abdomen below the level of the navel. And on the exhales now, let the exhales become a little bit longer. And allow that full relaxed inhale. So as you exhale more fully, you'll feel the abdominal muscles activating to help you exhale, to squeeze out the air. And then they release for the inhale. After your next exhale, relax, and we'll move into a pelvic tilt. So feet are flat on the floor and hip width apart. Take a slow inhale, and on your exhale, engage the pelvic floor, that Kegel contraction. Keep that as you engage abdominals, curling pubic bone toward the navel. On the inhale, uncurl one segment at a time, allowing pelvic floor to soften. Follow your breath on the exhales, contract and curl. On the inhale, release with control. And breathe. The abdominal muscles and the psoas muscles are interconnected, having a strong but long core, long abdominal muscles that give you support, help decrease reliance on the psoas. And now feel your body melting. Re-engage abdominals and engage pelvic floor. On your inhale, lift the right arm up to the edge, pausing where your shoulder feels a little tension, and on the exhale, release back down. If you find that it's very easy, but you notice you're arching your back, re-engage abdominals and move less far. What typically happens is the body tries to gain the motion you are trying to create, but we cheat. So by keeping strong through the center of the body, you can slowly add length through the lats that attach from pelvis to underarm, building support for your back. And next time you release, release all the way. Release abdominals and pelvic floor. And if it's comfortable, take the left hand and do a clockwise circular massage to the abdomen. Imagine a clock facing the ceiling, and you are going in that clockwise direction down toward your left hip. That helps digestion and helps release that inner body gripping. And relax. Re-engage pelvic floor and abdominals. And on your slow inhale, lift left arm up. On the exhale, release down. If you feel any discomfort in the back or in the shoulder, you've gone through the edge. You should just feel something telling you to pause. That's the edge. And when you honor the edge and connect with your breath, the body starts to soften, starting to release, starting to trust that this is safe. Never pushing through pain. One more time. And next time you release, let go all the way, releasing the arm, release abdominals and pelvic floor. And if it's comfortable, take the right hand and do that clockwise circular massage to the abdomen. And release. Now hold on to the left leg, whether that's hands clasped on top of the shin or holding between the thigh and the calf, or using your yoga strap, threading that underneath the leg and wrapping it around your hands. Shoulders sink down, elbows are close to your sides. Let your leg rest, whether that's on the strap or your hands. There should be no pinching or pain in the hip. If there is, start further away. And on your slow exhale, bend the elbows, allowing the knee to melt toward the chest to the edge. On the inhale, straighten the elbows, let the knee melt away. We're lubricating the hip joint, warming up the hip, but not pushing. As you melt, you might notice that it's easier for the knee to melt towards you without forcing. Now, if coming straight up toward the chest is not comfortable, bringing the legs slightly out to the side usually feels a little bit better because of the shape of the pelvis. Next time the knee melts towards you, keep it there. Straighten out the left leg, ground through the heel, and bend the ankles, toes toward the nose. If you're hiking the shoulders up, let that be soft. Feel how your belly can soften even as other parts of the body are activating. If there's any pinching or pain in the hip, leg does not come as far. Okay. Lower right foot to the floor, bend the left knee and hold on to the left leg. Again, as we discussed, find the edge where there's no pinching or pain. As we move on the exhale, bend the elbows, knee melts to the edge. On the inhale, straighten the elbows, knee melts away. Connect with your breath, slow, smooth breath, gliding and warming up, lubricating the hip. Feel how this is very different from traditional stretching. We are not stretching. Instead, we're releasing the tension that holds us. Just letting it go. Next time the knee melts towards you, please keep it there. Straighten out the right leg. Ground through the heel, bend the ankles, and breathe. Lower, left foot to the floor, bend the right knee. If you have a yoga block, place that between the knees. If you don't, pretend that you have a block, keeping everything neutral. Moving into bridge with breath pose. Bend the knees a little bit further. Feet on the floor. Keep a light squeeze on the block and keep it there the whole time. Arms at your sides. On your inhale, press into the feet and lift hips and arms. On the exhale, release hips and arms all the way back down. Going with the flow, wherever that is. And next time you come down, release all the way. Remove the yoga block off to the side. Once again, gently bring right knee in and straighten out the left leg. Ground through the heel, bend the ankles, and breathe. Feel how just opening up through bridge made it easier now for this knee to come toward your chest. Having more length in the psoas creates more space in the hip joint, making it more comfortable. Lower, right foot to the floor, bend the left knee, and hug it in. Straighten out the right leg, ground through the heel, bend the ankles, and breathe. Belly softens as you melt here. And lower, left foot to the floor, bend the right knee. Take your time as you come onto hands and knees, roll onto your side. Coming up onto hands and knees. If you would like support under your knees, you could kneel on a blanket with feet off the edge. If you need support under your hands, you can roll up the front of the mat with your hands on that rolled edge. In this position, straighten out the right leg, tuck the toes under. Feel that openness in the front of the right hip, in the back of the knee, and in the calf. Back to hands and knees, change sides. And back to hands and knees. Take a slow inhale. On your exhale, curl the tailbone under, round the spine, release neck and head. On the inhale, reverse, tailbone lifts, low back sinks, heart is open, head is the last thing to lift within your comfort zone. Gliding along, use the breath to guide you there. When you're ready, come back to neutral. Engage abdominals, belly button toward the spine. Imagine a cord running from the crown of your head through the spine, out through the tailbone. Either stay right there or lift right arm and left leg, or just the right arm, or just the left leg. Back to hands and knees, re-engage abdominals, and either stay there or lift left arm and right leg, or just the left arm, or just the right leg. Height of the arm or leg is unimportant. We want to keep the spine and pelvis neutral. If you lift too high, you might rotate. So if that's happening, lower the leg. And release. Now from here, we'll move to lie face down on the mat. For many of us, if you have tight hip flexors, you'll want to have a folded blanket on the mat, and then you'll lie over the blanket so that it's right under your pelvis. Stacking one hand on top of the other, rest the forehead here. Or you could be flat if that feels comfortable for you. So your forehead will be resting down. I'm going to keep my head up so that you can hear me. In this position, engage the pelvic floor again, that inner lift, and at the same time add the abdominals, belly button toward the spine. Keeping that engaged on the inhale, bend the right knee just till you feel a little tissue tension around the knee or in the thigh, no movement in the back. And on the exhale, release back down. Keep strong through your core, alternate sides. So this should not feel painful in any way. If it does, you've gone too far, or you've released the core, or both. There should be no movement in the back. Instead, you're just creating length through the front of the hip as you're stabilizing the spine, retraining. Next time you release back down, let go all the way. If it's comfortable, rock the hips side to side to release any tension there. From here, come up onto the elbows, forearms straight ahead. If it's comfortable, ground through the elbows and release abdominals. You should feel a nice little release in the low back and in the abdominals. If there's any pain in the low back, support using abdominals. And release back down, resting your forehead on your hands. From here, we'll move into our posture strengthener pose, Chaturanga Dandasana preparation. And for this pose, bring hands next to lower outer ribs, tuck elbows in toward the sideways. Your forehead is hovering above the floor, shoulder blades drawing down and back. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees off the floor. You'll feel the quads engage and the back of the body engaged. And now release knees and feet to the floor. Either keep your hands where they are, gently lifting up into cobra pose. Could be low or high cobra, or go back to hands or to elbows and hands in sphinx pose. And release back down. Slide your hands forward slightly, hinge back up to hands and knees. Your choice now, either engage abdominals and repeat opposite arm and leg lift briefly, or step back into plank pose like you're about to do a push-up. If you're in plank, quadriceps engage, abdominals engage, root down through the hands, keeping your body in one long line. And release back to hands and knees. From here, we'll move either into puppy pose or child's pose. Hips could stay here as the upper body releases down, resting your forehead, or you could move into child's pose. Separating your knees can make that easier if you prefer. So your forehead might rest on a block, or stacked fists, or your hands, or the floor. Let that soft breath move into the back body. From here, hinge back up to hands and knees and straighten out the right leg behind you. Tuck the toes under. Come back to hands and knees and change sides. And back to hands and knees. From here, take your time coming into tall half kneeling. Engage abdominals to support your back. You'll feel length in the front of the hip. If there's any strain, feel free to hinge forward, but keep your back neutral. Either stay there or lift left arm up. Feel the shoulder blade drawing down. As you keep your length in the spine, either stay right there or gently open up toward the side. And unwind and change sides. If you need to hold on to a chair to help you, feel free to do that. Engage abdominals and either stay right there or lift right arm up. And either stay right there or keeping that length in the spine, turn toward your left. Back hand could be on the thigh, your hip or your waist. Feel that soft openness through your body and feel how you sway a little bit. You have stability and softness. Gently unwind. Come back to hands and knees. From here, if downward facing dog works for you, step back through plank and hinge up. Downward facing dog. Slow, deep breath here. And we'll walk the dog. Bend one knee as the opposite heel melts toward the floor. Deep breath here. And when you're ready, straighten both knees, engage the quadriceps, heels sink down. And on your next inhale, bend the knees, walk the feet all the way forward toward the front of the mat. Keep the knees bent as head and neck release. Ground through the feet, hinge at the hips, arms out to the side and overhead. And on the exhale, release. So now we'll move into our standing posture, Tadasana. Everything we've done up to this point is to make Tadasana easier, to make standing easier, to feel more space in the hips, more space in the spine. So feet are hip width apart, and by hip I mean right here, not the pelvis. Lift just the toes, keeping the balls of the feet on the floor. Feel how that gently shifts you back toward the heels. Keep that feeling, engage the quadriceps, engage abdominals. Feel how you're already taller, you're lifting up out of the hips. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Gently turn the palms forward without throwing the shoulders back. Keep that soft. And now keep that feeling of soft openness. Release the arms. Keep this activation in your body. Lower and spread the toes, or just imagine the toes spreading without letting everything drop. And then once you get there, imagine four corners on each foot. Root down, lengthen up through the crown of the head as if you're being suspended right through the crown of the head. And now find a little bit of softness there. Bring hands to heart center. Exhale. Inhale, arms out to the side and overhead. Exhale, lower left arm down. Keep grounded through the feet. And either stay there or gently melt. Root down through the feet, lift left arm up. And lower right arm down, ground and lengthen. And melt. Hinging back up, bring hands to heart center. And breathe. So keeping this length in the body, you could either hold a chair for balance or keep hands at heart center or place your hands on your hips, whatever feels best for you. We're going to do a gentle calf stretch. So keeping pelvis straight ahead, slide your left foot straight back. If you're holding on, it's easier to look and see that the foot is straight. It will want to turn out. If it is turning out, just think about bringing your heel out slightly toward the outer edge of your mat. Okay? Keeping engaged here, bend the front knee gently, root through the back heel. So you should feel a comfortable pull in the calf. You'll also just notice a gentle lengthening and opening here. If there's any pain, move less far and either stay right here or keeping strong. Lift the arms up. Could be bent or straight elbows. Feel the shoulder blades drawing down and back. And smile. And bring hands together at heart center. Re-engage abdominals and step the leg forward. And do a little butt squeeze. Pelvis straight ahead, slide, left foot straight back. Sorry, your right foot straight back. When you get there, ground through the heel. As you root through the heel, engage abdominals, either hands at heart center or holding the chair, or reaching up. Feel the shoulders dropping down and feel the length all the way from that back heel through your body, all the way to the fingertips. Soft breath, soft eyes. And release. Re-engage abdominals and step the leg forward. You could do a little glute set here. Good. Just feel your feet on the ground, feel the length in your body. And it's your choice now whether you leave your mat at this point or you can continue on with another video or moving into Shavasana. Bringing hands to heart center. Just feel the strength and length in your body, the stability and the softness. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.